A brief history of the European Union. The European Union project is complex, as it was not built overnight or according to a single ready-made plan. We will now explore the main elements which contributed to the EU as we know it today. The big idea behind the European Union was born from the need to overcome nationalism, secure long-lasting peace and ensure economic recovery and prosperity after the Second World War. It all started in 1951 with the European Coal and Steel Community, established through the Treaty of Paris. As a result, 6 founding member states were economically and politically united in order to secure lasting peace. One step forward in this direction was taken in 1957, when the same country signed the Treaty of Rome. This treaty established a wider common market, referred to as the European Economic Community. The word economic would later on be dropped from the name to demonstrate that cooperation no longer only concerned matters of trade. The 70s marked a few crucial moments in the development of the European project. In 1973, the United Kingdom, Denmark and Ireland joined, raising the number of member states to 9. During the same year, the EU adopted the first Environmental Action Programme, introducing the notion of "the polluter pays" for the very first time. This marked a milestone in a decade of social movements and environmental awareness, which led to the creation of the first Green parties in Europe in the late 70s. Also in the late 70s, the European Parliament increased its influence when, for the first time, European citizens directly elected its members. Shortly after the first direct elections in the European Parliament, Greece became a member state in 1981, followed by Spain and Portugal in 1986. A first major revision of the Treaty of Rome took place in 1986, when the Single European Act, SEA, enabled a shift from merely a common market to a single market by further removing barriers to trade and increasing the harmonization of standards among member states. At this time, additional powers for social and environmental policies were invested in the European community. Following the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, as well as the collapse of communism across Central and Eastern Europe, the 90s marked a closer European Union, which was enabled by 2 European treaties. The Treaty on European Union, TEU, signed in Maastricht in 1992, established the European Union under its current name and prepared the introduction of the euro. The EU's powers increased in the areas of education, culture, youth, consumer protection, trans-European networks and industrial policy. European Union citizenship was also introduced, granting citizens of a member state automatic citizenship of the Union, which includes a number of rights, such as to travel, work and live freely within the EU or petition the European Parliament. In 1995, the EU gained 3 new members: Austria, Finland and Sweden. 2 years later, the EU adopted the Treaty of Amsterdam, which incorporated the Schengen Agreement as a legal and institutional framework of the EU, abolishing border controls within the Union. Amsterdam signalled a move from merely an intergovernmental to a more supranational EU. The Treaty of Nice, signed in 2001, was designed to enable changes within the institutions to accommodate the enlargement process in 2004, when 10 new member states joined the Union. In 2007, 2 more Eastern countries, Romania and Bulgaria, were granted EU membership, followed by Croatia in 2013. Another important milestone for the future of Europe was the European Convention in 2004, when the Constitution for Europe was introduced, proposing the primacy of EU rules over national ones, and also over national constitutions. The Constitution failed in the ratification process as a result of the negative outcome of national referenda in France and the Netherlands. However, much of the content of the Constitution for Europe was integrated into the Treaty of Lisbon, which governs the EU today. The establishment of the European Citizens' Initiative mechanism, the binding Charter of Rights and the strengthening of the European Parliament marks the present era of the EU. More federal, more democratic, though by no means without flaws, and more European. For these reasons, we Greens supported the Treaty of Lisbon. Maybe now more than ever, the future of the European project depends to a large extent on alternatives proposed by today's leaders, and of course, the actions of activists across Europe.